There is someone who thinks about you in the kind of silence that aches, not the fleeting kind of thinking, the kind that settles into their bones at 2 a.m. When the world goes quiet and truth gets loud, they lie awake and imagine what it would feel like to build a life where you never have to carry pain alone again, where your tears don't scare them, where your heaviness doesn't send them running, where the weight you've been holding since you were too young to understand, it finally has somewhere to rest. This person doesn't see you as a beautiful tragedy. They see you as someone who has survived being unloved in the exact ways you needed love most. And something in them breaks and heals at the same time every time they think, I want to marry this person. Not to own them, not to complete them, but to be the place where their exhausted heart finally remembers what safety feels like. They see the you that you hide from everyone else, the you that goes silent when the room gets loud, the you that gives, and gives until your hands shake but your smile stays steady, the you that apologizes for needing things because you learn that needing makes you a burden, and it destroys them because they know that the softness you show the world cost you your softness toward yourself. They see how you've turned your pain into purpose, your loneliness into loyalty, your heartbreak into a capacity to hold space for everyone but you. And they don't want to take that strength from you. They want to stand beside it and whisper, you were never meant to be this strong alone. You were never meant to carry this much and call it normal. Let me love you in the ways no one taught you to expect. Let me be the exception your survival skills never prepared you for. When they imagine marrying you, they don't see a ceremony. They see a lifetime of small sacred moments. They see themselves waking up before you do just to watch you sleep without the armor you wear during the day. They see rainy Sundays where you don't have to be interesting or impressive or okay, where you can just exist, and that's enough. They imagine learning the specific way you like your coffee, the exact amount of silence you need before you're ready to talk, the words that calm you, and the ones that cut you even when you don't say so. They see themselves becoming fluent in you, in your sighs, in your stillness, in the language of your pain that you've spoken alone for so long. This is what they think about when they think about forever. Not grand gestures, not perfect days, but the quiet privilege of being the person you don't have to perform for anymore. Here's what you need to understand about this person. They don't love the idea of you. They love the reality, the you that overthinks, the you that pulls away when things get too good because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, the you that has been disappointed so many times that hope feels dangerous now. Most people want the highlights, the easy parts, the version of you that's already healed and whole and ready. But this person wants your 3 a.m. thoughts, your unfiltered fears, the messy middle of your becoming. They're not waiting for you to be less complicated. They're learning to love you in your complexity. And if this is touching something deep in you, if you've been wondering if anyone sees past what you show them, stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you next will explain why they haven't said anything yet. And it's going to break your heart open in the most necessary way. They haven't told you because they're afraid of being another person who made you believe and then disappeared. Let that sink in while you're wondering if you're too much. They're terrified of not being enough. They've seen the way you've learned to expect less, how you've trained yourself not to hope too hard because hoping hurt too much, how you say you're fine when you're drowning because you don't want to be a burden. And it kills them because they know that someone like you doesn't need more empty promises. You need someone who stays when staying is hard, who loves you on the days you can't love yourself, who doesn't run when your trauma shows up uninvited. So they're quiet, not because they don't feel deeply, but because they feel so deeply that they're preparing, building the kind of foundation that won't crumble the first time things get heavy. This isn't uncertainty. This is reverence. What they want to give you is something you've been starving for, to be loved without having to earn it, to be chosen without having to prove you're worth choosing, to rest without feeling guilty, to need without feeling weak. They want to love you the way you love others, completely, patiently, without keeping score. They've watched you pour yourself into people who couldn't even hold a cup steady. They've seen you celebrate others while your own victories went unnoticed. They've witnessed you make yourself smaller so others could feel bigger. And they decided, if I get to love this person, I'm going to love them so consistently that they forget what it feels like to question where they stand. They imagine you 10 years from now, softer, laughing without checking to see if it's too loud, asking for things without apologizing, finally believing that being loved isn't something you have to perform for. That's the future they see when they see you. Here's the part that might shatter you. They're not waiting for you to heal before they love you. They want to love you while you heal. Through the nightmares, through the days you can't get out of bed, through the moments you push them away because you're testing if they'll stay. They know that healing isn't linear, that some days you'll be okay, and some days the weight of everything will knock you sideways, and they're ready for both. They don't need you to be easy. They need you to be real. They don't want the polished version you show strangers. They want the you that cries in the shower, the you that rewrites text 17 times, the you that's scared of being happy because the last time you were happy, someone took it away. This person isn't scared of your darkness. They're scared of you. Going through it alone one more time, and that changes everything. If you're reading this and something in your chest is breaking open, that's not weakness. That's recognition. Your soul remembering what it feels like to be seen. You've been strong for so long that tenderness feels like a language you used to speak but forgot. You've been the one everyone leans on while your own knees shake. The one who holds space for others while your own world collapses in silence. You've given the kind of love you've never received and called yourself foolish for still believing in it. But here's what you need to know. Somewhere right now, someone is rearranging their entire life around the possibility of being yours. Not in loud declarations, not in perfect words. In action, in preparation, in the quiet sacred work of becoming someone worthy of your carefully guarded heart. They're learning patience because they know you've been rushed by people who didn't stay. They're building consistency because they know you've survived inconsistency that nearly broke you. They're choosing you in the silent hours when no one's watching because that's where real love lives. So stop telling yourself you're too damaged to be chosen. Stop shrinking your needs to fit someone else's capacity. Stop apologizing for wanting what you deserve. Stop believing that the love made for you is too much to ask for. It's not. You're not. The person thinking about marrying you isn't intimidated by your depth. They're drawn to it. They don't see your past as baggage. They see it as proof of your capacity to survive. And they want to be the reason you don't just survive anymore. They want to be the reason you finally live. The love that's coming for you won't ask you to be smaller. It won't require you to hide your needs or silence your pain. It will arrive in steady hands and patient eyes, and a love so relentless, so consistent, so unwavering that it rewrites every lie trauma ever taught you about yourself. And when it comes, you won't have to audition for it. You won't have to convince it to stay. You won't have to perform or pretend or prove, because it already chose you before you were healed, before you were ready, before you believed you were worth choosing. It saw you in your mess and said, "This one, this heart, this soul, forever."